when I left my husband, we had gotten to the women's shelter in Elkhart. He had gotten the phone number there and the address and started calling there and asking for me by name in letters, and that really had sent serious concerns with the director there. And she asked me where I had family or I could get a support group away from that situation. And this was the only place that was long distance that I could go to. And they called the shelter here, and that's how we ended up here. I was going to school and working, and I'd been doing that for about a year and a half, just nonstop running, taking care of kids. And then it was in this time period I discovered Brene had asthma, and that was like really high maintenance. So on top of everything else, I'm trying to figure out how to care for her and Charlie and his problems. I was just really close to burnout on both ends. And I heard this ad, you know, moms come for a day of pampering and just relax. And I was like, okay, sign me up. I want to relax for a minute.
In quiet time tonight, I'm going to be talking about quiet time with God. And I just can kind of define it as a daily time of personal fellowship with God through the Word and through prayer. And sometimes prayer is just sitting and waiting for God to talk to you, because prayer is actually a conversation. God is the Father of the fatherless, and the widows and the orphans, and He is the man in that household, and He takes care of them. And so I've been teaching to them, God is going to provide for you, and He is going to take care of you, and He's going to provide these things that man who should be in your life and isn't is not providing. And you've just got to go to Him and ask. And so we ask, and we ask, and we ask, and He provides. But they've also learned in return they need to give God their love and their respect, their time, their tithe. Even though they don't have much, they've learned to give.
It is wonderful because we have different perspective on what God is and how we can draw from each other's experiences or kind of be there for each other. And it is so great. We get time away from the kids to have adult conversation, which in my world does not really happen too often. And, if I need something, I can call someone up. I've called Kathy up. And it's just a person to talk to. We all draw strength from each other or pray for each other, which is wonderful to have someone to reach out to and the faith and that connection. When I got my car, I didn't have a way to go pick it up. The person I thought was going to help me pick it up couldn't do it. So I just called Kathy, and I was like, Kathy, great news. I got a car. Can you help me go get it? And she was there, and it was beautiful. Just to have someone there and sharing that joy was so wonderful.
It just so happens that God heard your prayer. And it just so happens that you serve a gracious God. And it just so happens that Tuesday, when we were meeting as a preaching team, your car broke down, didn't it? And it just so happens that you had to get a ride to work tonight because you don't have a car. And it just so happens that we have a car that we want to give to you. And there it is. Listen, what I want you to know, and I want all of you to know, is that God cares.
I feel more of a peace, and it's so beautiful, that just the peace and the joy when I know I can go to God and be confident with my petitions and know that God cares for me, and my kids know God cares for them, and it's so amazing.
I can hear in their conversation that they're turning to God first now. They're learning that that's the answer, and you just see a peace about them and a joy about them that I didn't see when we first had them.
Ready? Ready. Set. 1, 2, 3.
I never in my wildest dreams imagined being a divorced mother. My family is very old-fashioned. You don't divorce. It's just not something I was raised up in, so this is like foreign territory, and There are so many lost women that I see running around that don't know God or don't know that, you know, that way is not the right way, and they can be loved and be here and share something wonderful. When I started and I came here, I was a single mom and I felt so alone and just so sheltered by the walls I built up that were like self-destructive. And this is good. I don't cry in my pillow as much or just scream at God because I'm so frustrated. Now I can just embody the fact that I'm part of a disaster, but we can be there to help each other out. Because, you know, God didn't create a woman just to be a family all on her own.